Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Freedom and Wealth Masterclass, Rehabbing for Big Profits. We've been running a series for almost 4 weeks now. And for some reason, I'm here in the office and this morning has been crazy with the internet. So my internet may go out, but hopefully it doesn't. If it does, Derek Anthony will continue the class. We also are waiting to hear from Charles Eddington, who may be joining us this morning. He had another Zoom. As you all know, Charles is into stock options, and he has a Zoom this morning with one of his mentors. So we're going to try to keep the internet connection here going, and hopefully we have another successful masterclass. It's like the last Saturday masterclass, my internet wants to act shaky, and if that happens, I'll just have to go Zoom on my cell phone. But hopefully we're good to go. So this has been great. We've been sharing a lot of information. You all have been learning a lot of information. Shout out to everybody that joined me live last night. I'm still waking up from that late night chat. Went live at the rehab last night. So I kind of want to start off this morning with that. Just to let everybody know, we have 4 seats. I think I said it last night. We have 4 seats left for the Rehab Mastery class next weekend, Saturday, May 21st. For all of our registered folks, I will be sending out text and email this week leading up to Saturday, just with more information on what you need to bring, etc. So I am going to share my screen. And Derek, if you want to share your screen today, you can as well. But let me pull up. I'm going to pull up my Instagram. And I want to share a story about the property where we are going to be holding class on Saturday. So if you joined me live on Instagram last night, and that live is actually still up on Instagram, there's still people trying to get in here. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Welcome. So this is the house. This is the house that I purchased a couple of months ago from actually one of the fellow Freedom and Wealth Seekers, Miss P. Shout out to you, Miss P, for giving me the opportunity to put this property under contract and to sell this property. The property did not look like this exactly when I put the house under contract. This is well into the demolition phase here. So this is a bedroom in the back of the property. And my crew, we started demoing this back bedroom. That's an extension that we had to take down. I don't know if I have pictures of that extension, but this is the front bedroom. There were originally like 3 bedrooms in this property. So this is on the second floor. As you see, there's a ladder. That's how my guys were able to get up there. We took the steps out, and all this old plaster we took out of the house. I told my guys, I want to gut this property out brick to brick as much as we can. And that's what they did, right? So this process took us, I think, about 7 days to gut this entire property out. I also removed the skylight. So if you're taking notes, this is just through my lens of my experience and what I recommend all of my students to do when they're renovating a house. You know, skylights, they're attractive. Oh, they bring natural light in the house, but they're a huge headache in the long run. Whether it's going to be for you, if you're going to hold this property as a rental, or if the homeowner buys it and the property has a skylight, oh, it looks great, it brings light into the house, but they are high maintenance. A lot of these skylights are over 50 years old, and to replace them can get expensive. And even if you replace a skylight, the chances of water or precipitation coming in, I know I said that word wrong, are very high. They're very high. So I like to just close off all skylights. I don't want them at my properties. They're a headache at the end of the day. And like a new skylight, I mean, last time I installed a skylight, I think it ran me over $1,000. All right. So this is the first floor. So if you see, the first floor of this property was similar to the second floor. We took out the kitchen. We took out everything. There was a bathroom on the first floor, a half bath. We took out everything. So I'm going to go to another phase of this project. And okay, this is before as well. So this is the outside of the house as well. All right, a ton of lead paint, a ton. I'll be posting pictures of the outside of this house today. I didn't take a picture last night because it was dark. But today I will be posting. If you've been following my stories, you've seen the transformation of the front of the building. So this is a picture of me just hanging out after demolition. So if you recall, you saw the skylight. You see we covered that skylight. It's a brand new roof on this property. There's no plaster on the walls. Now this is the thing. This is a mistake my crew made in the beginning of this project. We did not demo the roof until we demoed the inside of the house. Okay. And we framed some of the inside of the house. We should have demoed the roof first. We thought the roof was intact pretty much until somebody went up there and figured out that we need a whole new roof. So that's why there's a lot of like black stuff on the plywood here. And it's new, it's brand new plywood. So this picture should have been a whole lot prettier than this. But you know, so every project is different. And no, I did not do any demo. I've done demo in the past, but at this age, I'm retired from demolition. It's a lot of dust, a lot of dirt. It's a dirty job. The time when I did do a lot of demo was in 2008, when the real estate market was crashing, and my contractors at the time, they ran out on me, and I had to do the work myself. And many a days I was driving a luxury sedan. Many a days I was wearing the same clothes. My luxury sedan became like a pickup truck at that time. It was survival mode. So, you know, that's one thing that we're gonna do with these master classes. We're gonna keep it 100% real, give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. The goal is to have a master class every Saturday, and we're gonna share the good, bad, and the ugly of this business. So, you know, a demo, a demolition is a big part of the renovation process. So the property back in 2008 that I was doing the demo work on, I had to take out all of the lead paint, because that became a rental property. The market crashed. Properties were not selling for the prices that we originally slated the properties to sell for. and those properties became rentals, and I became an accidental landlord. That wasn't my plan going in, but that's what took place. And just a side note, what my childhood best friend had just came home from prison in 2008, and he called me and he said, Marcel, man, I need to stay busy. I don't care. I work for free. Whatever you could pay me, and I'm good with my hands. Rest in peace, Matthew Hayes. He helped me demo a lot of the properties that I held, and he helped me fix up a lot of the properties that I had to hold on to in 2008. So he really helped me survive the recession. So sometimes, you never know what life turns, what life is going to throw at you, and who they're going to throw at you that could help you and put you in a better position financially. And that's just a side note of the story of when I had to demo it, when I had to demo, because I didn't know what I was doing. When he came home, uh, he taught me. I learned a little bit about demolition. So this is the first floor. Look how the metamorphosis, um, the changes are happening at this property, right? So we go from plaster on the walls, ugly looking house, to now we're building up here. Now the first floor is a lot prettier than the second floor because of the roofing issue, but we put in a new wide staircase. We put in a new staircase into the basement as well. We framed out on the left side. We framed out a fireplace. We have electrical fireplace where flash screen is going to go. We also did exposed brick. Now, exposed brick, I want y'all to understand this, and this is when you renovate any house, whether it's single family, a townhome, condo, whatever property, house, apartment, multi. I talked to an investor early this morning. He wants me to send him nothing but multifamily. Okay, write that down. He wants me to send him nothing but multifamily. Okay, this is a 20+ year real estate investor, veteran, who's been flipping a ton of houses. He's getting ready for a storm. Okay, because a storm is brewing. Is stirring up around the country. And what I'm talking about when I'm talking about storm, a real estate storm. So the best way to survive a storm is to have cash flow. Write that down. Cash flow. How do you create cash flow? Rental property. All right. We're going to be talking a lot about rental property at Rehab Mastery. Okay. One of the instructors, Charles Eddington, recently walked away from his 9-to-5 job because he has built a solid rental portfolio that has replaced his 9-to-5 income and exceeded it. I hope everybody takes note to that. So back to this renovation project, the exposed bricks. The reason why I put this exposed brick into this property is because I want to create a shock and awe factor. Shock and awe. AWE. Okay. As soon as the prospect opens the door, and when I say prospect, the prospective home buyer, the prospective buyer's agent, as soon as they open the door, their eyes are just amazed. Okay. The reason why I put a fireplace in the front of the house, this is right in the living room. As soon as this is the view, really, when you open the door, they see a fireplace. Now, there are not a lot of homes in this neighborhood with exposed brick and a fireplace when you walk in. Matter of fact, the properties that are selling for 300,000-400,000, you walk in, the first thing you see is a wall. Yes, a wall and a staircase. It's not even an open floor plan. So I'm trying to deliver a product that stands out in this community, that stands out from the rest, okay, in a couple of different ways. But one of the first ways is with shock and awe, okay? Exposed brick, I was exposed to exposed brick in the early 2000s when I started renovating houses around 2004. That was kind of a that was the shock and awe for me when I got into the business. That was one of the reasons why I had a interest in rehabbing houses, because they exposed brick, and it was kind of nostalgic for me because my mom in the late 80s was renovating the home we lived in, and one of the first projects she ever did was she put exposed brick in her kitchen. And there's a video on my Instagram. I talked about the importance of financial literacy. I'm actually, one of my goals this year, going into next year, is to renovate my family's home. And I did a video inside of that house in front of the exposed brick that she put up herself with her own hands. But when I entered the real estate business and I saw people doing exposed brick, I instantly thought about that that project that my mom, that do it yourself project that she was able to complete while she was with us. So if you look at this picture, right, you can see all the way back to the kitchen. Okay, there were 2 windows in the kitchen when I purchased this house. Now, that's actually part of the extension. The first the first floor addition on this property was all brick. Okay, it was all brick. Whoever owned this house before me actually put in an all brick extension, which was a plus. They added some square feet to the property. However, the extension above wasn't done correctly. There was water damage. We had to take it all apart and put it back together. We took out a window here on the right. And the reason why we took out the window is because we needed to create more counter and cabinet space. All right. If you look closely, you could see where the HVAC, the ductwork, has been started. You can also see where the electrical has been started. Okay. This is very, 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 very important. Okay. Electrical, plumbing, and HVAC in my market has to be done by a licensed professional. A licensed professional. If you look closer at this photo, let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, wow, I can zoom in. When you look closer at this photo, there's a pipe coming through the floor, like growing through the floor, right? Well, that's not by mistake. We ran plumbing there because we wanted to put an island there. That's where our dishwasher is. That's where our sink is. Again, we put an island there to create more counter and cabinet space in the kitchen. All right. So I am going to zoom out. Let's go see if there's some more pictures. So I did a walkthrough. Some of you may have seen this video. Kids on the dirt bikes. That I did a walkthrough tour of that property. But this is a really cool picture. One of my contractors sent me this. I said, this is a really cool picture to post. And here's another nugget. As you all start your careers in the real estate investing arena, I don't care if you're a real estate agent. I don't care if you're a lead inspector. I don't care if you're a housing inspector for your city or county. Leverage social media. If your end goal is to invest in real estate, invest in building your personal brands. All right. Shout out to Charles Eddington, who just joined us. This guy is committed to helping others become successful. Just jumped off of a Zoom previously. He just joined us this morning. So this is going to be a jam-packed, info-packed event today. So back to building a personal brand. You have to invest in your brand, meaning you have to invest time in creating content to your potential customers or clients. Okay. And that's what I'm doing more of these days. I'm going to do a lot more lives. I understand the power of social media. This is free advertising for your businesses. That's how I actually got this house. This was from a fellow freedom and wealth seeker that's been following me for years on social media, who sold me this property. Okay. Who actually sold me this property. If it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't be on the Zoom today talking about this house, because this was an off-market deal. It wasn't listed with any brokers, any auctioneers, no other wholesaler had the contract on it. This was strictly off of building rapport. Okay. And how do you build rapport? You create content. You got to understand, folks. One of my good buddies, he's a psychologist, right? He's in the real estate business. He said, Marcel, you have several different types of people. You have people that are visual. You have people that are like to listen. And then you have people that like to read. You should try to communicate with people on every level, meet people where they're at. So I know this was a cool picture that could drum up some interest in what I'm doing, and it has. And I'm pretty sure posts like this are going to lead to more deals. Somebody asked me on the live tonight, last night, what's like my number one lead source? And I said word of mouth. And if you're in this business truly for the long run, eventually you will build goodwill in the market, and you will build word of mouth where deals start falling in your lap every now and then. Those are the best deals. If you look above this picture, you can see where the electrical was run. Okay. Now this is the kitchen. If you recall, the kitchen was just framework in the previous photo. So this is this space here is where the refrigerator is going, and some more cabinets, if you're wondering what that is on the right hand side. So that's what the island looks like. Remember that pipe coming through the floor? And you all see we decided to do hardwood floors throughout the entire house. And I believe it paid off. It's going to pay off handsomely. Talk about rehabbing. This I gotta go back here. So this is actually a renovation project that we did back in 2012. We did a greenhouse. We used special insulation. We made this house totally energy sufficient, created a lot of buzz. This is going back to the power of media. Now, I wasn't into Instagram in 2012. I don't even know if Instagram existed then. I just left YouTube around this time, which was a huge mistake. But this event, we made our homes big events. I'm going to talk a lot about that at Rehab Mastery. When you're renovating a house or you're wholesaling a house, in order to sell properties in competitive markets, you have to create events. Just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. If you're invited to someone's birthday party, you get a little excited about being invited to something. So I used to create and still create events that get people excited. Because when you get people excited and you have a good product, they come to your events emotionally thinking positive. They're emotionally excited. And when people make a purchase, part of that purchase is an emotional decision. You have to understand that when you're selling homes. Like a person that is going to see your house that you've renovated, they're thinking they're about their daughter, about their son, about their niece, about their nephew, where they're gonna live, where they're gonna play, where they're gonna go to school. They're thinking about having dinner in that kitchen on that island. They're thinking about watching the Super Bowl in front of that fireplace with that flat screen TV. Okay. People want when they I'm trying to take you into the psyche of a new home buyer or a home buyer for one of your new renovations. They're not thinking about the the framing that you put in there. They're not thinking about the new wiring and the HVAC. A lot of them don't even know that even exists. That's why they hire a licensed real estate agent to show them and lead them down that path. And I got a story for you all in reference to what a good real estate agent looks like. There's some good real estate agents, there's some bad ones. Okay. I just got a long text message from a former client inner circle alum from Washington, D.C., that's buying a new home in Baltimore. Okay. And it's been a nightmare for her. But she was armed with the right information because she came through one of my coaching programs and she wasn't taken advantage of. So this is a picture of my grandmother. Okay. And that's one of the other things that I recommend everybody, whether like I'm gonna keep it real, we're gonna keep it good, bad, and ugly, right? Everybody watching this Zoom or watching this replay, everybody's not gonna buy a house in the next 5 years. That's just a fact. Okay, some of you will, but some of you won't. It doesn't matter if you do, if you don't, right? What matters is the experience you get from either doing this business or getting around people that do this business. I'm gonna repeat. The advantage, the benefit is getting around people that do this business or being one of those people that do this business. And what I'm trying to say here is being able to bring your family, to bring your children and expose them to this journey that you're taking, this real estate journey. Okay. I have a young son. Okay. When I'm out in the field, he's been in that property that you saw, the before. He's been there. Okay. So he has an understanding of what his father does for a living. He buys and fixes up properties. That's gonna be in his mind for the rest of his life, right? My grandmother, when I started renovating houses, throughout the process, I would bring her in to see what I was doing. Okay. That created so much emotion for her. It also created word of mouth because she referred me to several of her friends that needed real estate and questions answered, and some actually sold me property in the past. So don't just keep this journey of yours a secret. Let your family know. You've seen what it's done for Derek Anthony's family. You've seen what it's done for Charles Eddington's family. They have included their families in their real estate businesses as they should, okay, in their journeys. So whether you get started or not, include your family in the journey. This is a picture of Sheila Dixon, the mayor. We had a huge ribbon cutting this day in 2012. The news came out. It was a whole experience. And I understood the power of media. So the news was there. I had my camera crew come and film the whole thing. I'll send out the story of a gentleman I actually went to college with who created a story around this whole event. But we had the mayor, Sheila Dixon, come out, and we did a ribbon cutting at this open house. We had over 200 people attend. That was an open house event. During Rehab Mastery, I'm gonna share with you how to sell your houses in any market, in any market. Again, going to personal branding, creating interest in your property. This is a video that I shot at the end of the renovation process at the house. I believe I did like a walkthrough tour, but it's a little sloppy in there. But I'm just giving people a sneak peek. So last night I did a live in the property, and I also posted these pictures. And remember, shock and awe. This photo already has over 100 likes and has many, many comments. Some of the likes and comments are real estate agents. Okay. Several real estate agents have been hitting me up since I've been posting this house, asking me for the location. See, I didn't just put the location. If someone wants the house, right? When someone wants the house, they're going to ask for the location. So that's kind of a marketing gambit that I use. Like, I'll never put the location of any of my properties because I'm only marketing this to people. I'm only putting these up to attract people to want to buy. I'm not putting them up. I'm not a real estate agent. Okay. The only way I'm going to sell one of these houses if a real estate agent calls me, or if I'm on my grind looking for retail buyers. I could do that. That could take a lot of time. But real estate agents, they hit me up whenever I post a renovated house. And sometimes I'll post one of my buddies' houses to gain some traffic before I post my house. I'll get some buzz going. I actually had a conversation with an investor today that's doing 11 houses in this neighborhood, in this same exact neighborhood. He's doing 11 houses, and he creates buzz by posting pictures of his houses. He doesn't put the address, and he understands that real estate agents are on social media, and they hit him up. And he's been able to sell some houses before they even hit the market, before his agent lists the property, because another agent saw his pictures on social media. Okay, so these are some of the gambits you can use, excuse me, when you start renovating houses. So this is a picture, right? I took this picture last night right from the front door. Okay. Then this is the front of the house. If you remember the last picture where the framing was up, we were talking about the framing for the fireplace, the staircase. This is where class is going to be May 21st, next Saturday. There are 4 seats left for that class. Folks, next week, the price goes to $24.97. I am going to put a link in the chat. There are only 4 seats left for this class. That is the link. If you click early bird registration, it will take you to this page where you can actually get registered for $1,497. The class is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's an info-packed, hands-on class. We will be there part of the day. We're going to get in our cars. We're going to drive the neighborhood. Some of you may end up buying property that day. There's some houses available for sale. Charles Eddington is a licensed real estate agent. We'll take you into some listed properties in that neighborhood as well, so you can see what the competition looks like. You will leave that event very knowledgeable on what's happening in Baltimore, but you'll be able to take the business model that we're going to give you to any neighborhood and any marketplace in the country. So this is pretty much the finished product, other than staging. And I honestly, I don't even think we're gonna need to stage this house. I think this house is gonna fly off the market just based off of how it looks. This is like, I'm in love with this house. Like I, this is one of the houses that comes out and like, I would live here. Like, is that amazing? This is the kitchen. The light fixtures are, I mean, dazzling. Everything is just perfect almost. This is the staircase going down to the basement. Now, the basement was ugly before we renovated this house. This is the staircase going to the second floor. This is a bathroom in one of the bedrooms. Okay. Every bedroom has a bathroom. This is actually a 2-bedroom with a den. And most people make the den a bedroom. So I actually put some other pictures in my story, and I'm going to show you that. So this is one of the bedrooms. Again, we did hardwood floors throughout. If you recall, you saw the before pictures. And I'm going to do another story. This is the hallway with the banister. There's no sun. There's no skylight. This is another bathroom. Another bedroom. This is the bedroom we had to build out an extension. The staircase, of course. So I'm excited to, this is the laundry area in the basement. This is part of the basement, I would make this like an office down here. This is the bathroom in the basement, has a stand-up shower. This is the den in the basement. And these rooms are really big. These rooms are really big. There's a staircase going down to the basement. The kitchen. It's a beautiful renovation. And this is the living room. And another shot of the living room. So folks, get registered. There are 4 seats left. First come, first serve. I'm going to keep that link in the chat. And now I want to open up. Let me see if there are any questions in the chat so far. There's no questions yet. So I want to welcome Derek Anthony back. Derek, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, man. How you doing?
Good, good. Derek, you're no stranger to this platform. We had a conversation last night about what we were going to share this morning. And we want to give you kind of a roadmap that leads up to this point of buying, renovating, and selling a house. So I'm going to share some tips. Derek's going to share some tips. Charles is going to share some tips. I've already done that. Word of mouth, personal branding on social media to create a buzz, to attract people, prospects to you that may sell you property. Derek, big question for you. What strategy would you recommend a new person that hasn't purchased a house or hasn't closed a wholesale deal, maybe doesn't have a huge marketing budget? Where would you recommend that they start finding potential deals off market?
Yeah, well, I'll take it back to day one, cruising for cash.
Yes.
That is you can start in your own backyard, your own neighborhood. And for those of you that might not be familiar with cruising for cash, that's essentially jumping in your car and just cruising throughout your neighborhood and taking down those properties that deem to be vacant or for sale and looking up those houses and trying to find those homeowners. I still find good deals like that. Like that's something that you taught me at the day one, right? Because I started out with not a lot of capital, like pretty much we all do. And that's something that's pretty much always stuck with me. And that's something that you'll pick up and do like just on your daily routine. Like when I'm driving throughout the city or wherever I'm going, like I'm still taking down properties as well. So cruising for cash is, I think, something that you all can start out to do if you don't have a lot of capital to do like mailing or text messages, what have you. Just build you a solid list. You could spend a Saturday and a Sunday, a whole 2 days compiling a list, going out in your neighborhood or traveling to just like another neighborhood that you've never been to, get lost, just drive throughout the city or county and come out with that list and just spend the whole week trying to find those homeowners.
Absolutely. How many people? I need you to put a yes in the chat if you can commit. Derek is giving you step by step. We're giving you step by step on how this gentleman has a six-figure rehabbing business. We showed you the checks during the last class. He showed you over $300,000-$400,000 in checks during the last class. How many of you can commit to taking one weekend out of? We're just going to start off one weekend. Matter of fact, we're going to start off real baby steps. One day out of the week, commit from 8 in the morning to 8 at night to drive, let's say a Saturday or Sunday, to drive around all day, taking down vacant properties. Put a yes in the chat, okay? Because this is how he started. This is how he started. This is how I started. This is how Charles started. We're giving you the steps, okay? You get in your car, you drive around. When I first started, I was writing stuff down in a composition notebook. All right. Now you have voice recorders. It's so simple. So that's 3 people. We got 18 people on here who can commit to getting in their car and driving a neighborhood to look for distressed properties. Put a yes in the chat. I'm going to go to Charles Ennington. I'm gonna ask him the same question. Let's see what he says. Now, this is a gentleman who has gone through those same steps. Like, this is information I've been sharing for 15 years now. It still works. Who recently I said, Charles, man, you you gotta make you're gonna make everybody step their game up now. I got big shoes to fill now because he used those same steps that Derek just mentioned, and he recently gifted his wife a new house of her own and $150,000 to go with it. Using these same steps that Derek, and I had never thought of that, Charles. So you're a genius for that. And I think as you continue to build your brand, that should be the headline. Black man gives wife house and 150K. That's gonna go viral. I just put a funny video up in my in my story, and it was a boyfriend who told his girlfriend he was taking her on a trip. It was their first trip, and they were flying first class, and she was clowning him. It was so funny. She
So
did it in love, though. You saw that, Derek?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
that was
oh
viral.
Yeah,
God,
I saw that
that
too.
guy, that guy needs to come to Rehab Mastery so he can get in first class. Hey, Charles, man, I love it, bro. Can you kind of touch on, and for the folks, if this is your first time meeting Charles, he is one of our expert instructors that will be at Rehab Mastery on May 21st. When let me tell y'all about what you got to learn from Charles. Y'all ain't just coming to learn about how we renovated this house where we have this class. You're gonna learn how to raise capital. You're gonna learn how to fix your credit. You're gonna learn how to build business credit. Okay. You're going to learn how to buy and hold property. You may, if we have time, even learn how Charles makes profit every day in the stock market and is diversifying his real estate profits of the stock market profits to build more wealth. Not only that, we are going to get in our cars. There's going to be a caravan where you follow us. We're all going to be on Zoom. So I need all of our people that are registered, all of our students that are registered to download Zoom to your phone because we are going to be giving you a tour of this neighborhood in Baltimore. Remember, remember what I said earlier. We're going to give you the good side of the neighborhood. We're going to give you the bad side of the neighborhood. And we're going to give you the ugly side of the neighborhood. So you could go back to your respected neighborhoods and markets around the country and you can implement the business model that we are implementing successfully in our market. I have a strong belief that in the next 20 years, there will no longer be ghettos in the United States. You know how you can go in a neighborhood and there are hundreds of abandoned houses and there's a bunch of poverty? I don't believe that is going to be the case 20 years from now because the ghettos that were in my community 20 years ago, where I grew up, they are changing. They're changing. They're no longer they're no longer the ghetto anymore. I just put another post up of a beautiful family from Pennsylvania. They have roots here in Baltimore. They have really changed an entire, they're changing neighborhoods throughout Baltimore, this couple, but they took a block that has been vacant since I was in college. And I didn't get into great detail in the post, but they're putting small minority businesses on a city block. They painted all the houses black. They're putting small minority businesses in each one of those properties. I believe there are like 3 to 5 business suites in each property. Do you know what that's going to do for this neighborhood that was once the ghetto? It kind of still is. It's going to bring, it's creating an economy. Number one, it's creating jobs, but it's an anchor right across, right across the street from this property. I used to go to at least once a week. There was a Wachovia bank there. About 10 years ago, that bank shut down because nobody in the community was banking there. Wonder why? There weren't any jobs there really. But this wonderful couple that keeps God first. If you, I tagged them in my Instagram. They invested. This has got to be a couple $1,000,000 into this community that is going to spur future development. And we're really going to talk about that at Rehab Mastery and how you can use those as indicators that these neighborhoods are where you want to invest your time, energy, and money. Charles, I'm sorry I went on a tangent, but I had to share that information. Can you touch on, you know, someone just getting started? Like, where should they start? You're, you know, you could probably give us 10 different ways to get started. Give us a couple of ways you would advise somebody.
All right. Yeah, man. First of all, Marcel, thanks a lot for having me on the platform today. I greatly appreciate it. Derek, good to see you, man.
Hey, man,
So
good to
just
see
to,
you.
so just to tell everyone, just like Derek and Marcel said, man, cruising for cash or driving for dollars was just the number one start. Another thing that I like to implement with cruising for cash or driving for dollars is listen, you're driving the same route to go and pick your kids up from school, the same route to go to work and things like that. Try leaving the house 10 minutes or 15 minutes earlier and taking a different route, right? Driving down the street that you always looked at, but you never went down that street, or just taking a different route to your kid's school or driving around, your kid's school and looking at those neighborhoods and those streets and things like that. So I just call it my get lost period, my get lost moment. And then sometimes, I will actually do what I call walking for wealth. So I will get out in those neighborhoods and I'm walking around and I'm just looking, right? Because here's a gem right here. So write this down, because when you're walking for wealth, guess what? Those same houses that you're driving past, you know what? You can see them, but they may look clean, they may look neat. It looks like someone lives there because the neighbors are taking care of it. But guess what? When you're walking for wealth, you may notice that the blind is open a little bit and that the property is vacant, right? You may notice that no, there's nobody that's living here and this property is empty. So those are things that you get to see when you're actually physically walking for wealth, right? It's going to help you, find properties, generate wealth through that way. And also, it's a good physical attribute. Let's walk down the way. Let's stay in shape. So walking for wealth. So, I was say implement, walking for wealth when you can as well. That's a good activity that you can take your kids out with. If you don't have kids, your nieces, nephews, you may have a older parents, you want to get them out for a walk. They're spending quality time. Try walking for wealth and looking at those properties, because now you get to see it right then and there. There's nobody living here, but the neighbors have been taking care of the property. But now you can see, like, hey, you know what? This is an opportunity that's right here in my face. That opportunity could be, on the next block from where you live at, but you haven't walked the block, you haven't walked around in so long, you don't know that. So take that opportunity and walk for wealth. And when I first got started in my journey, driving for dollars was the way we did it. I remember driving with Marcel. We were driving for properties, and we drove past something. We made a right turn down this one-way street. We were going the right direction, and we looked back and we said, "Man, that may look empty." Marcel threw my car in reverse. He was driving at the time. He threw my car in reverse. I remember he scraped the muffler, right? He said, "Man, don't worry, we're gonna make that money up on this deal." so man, and sure enough, it was a property right there. Driving through dollars. That was one of our very first. That was one of our very first deals, and I believe that when we sold that property, we made a $60,000 profit off of that wholesale deal right there, and that helped generate money and help launch the platform for my business to where it is today, and leading me to being able to use a method where I was able to buy a property, rehab it, rent it out, and refinance it, and give my wife $150,000. And so, driving for dollars and cruising for cash, walking for wealth, man, it's a ton of knowledge in it. So I encourage everyone to get out there. If you haven't registered for the class on May 21st, the Saturday coming up, you need to be there. And an important thing is to, you need to bring a friend or family member with you. You need to tell them to get one of these tickets. What I'm realizing is that as I create more wealth, is that, there's not a lot of people like me who I get to spend my days and time with. So when you are able to generate that wealth with someone else, guess what? You're going to have somebody that's in your circle, somebody that's building wealth with you. They're like-minded. Your network is your net worth, and you will be able to create more ideas and be creative during that time, because you all are going to find freedom and time freedom and financial freedom. So, it's 4 tickets left, like Marcel said. Tell your partners, get signed up. It's time for them to change their mindset. I want to see everybody there on Saturday. I'm going to be dropping some great stuff. So I'm just excited about it.
Absolutely, Charles. Man, you dropped some jewels. I hope y'all are taking notes. And I just I got to shout out the people that got registered the first week. Like, I want y'all to understand, like, I didn't have the idea of bringing on Derek Anthony and Charles Eddington. We were having a conversation, and Charles touched on getting around like-minded people. We just happened to be talking stock investing and lending for real estate. And I was talking to Derek about some wholesaling deals and a book that he's writing. And I said, guys, y'all need to come and be instructors at the first rehab mastery class. And it's kind of evolved into this big event where y'all, at first it was just me teaching. Now I'm bringing other folks in that have different experience than I do, that have done different deals. Every deal is going to be different, that you all can learn from, that have added things to the foundation that they created many, many years ago as far as real estate. Like Charles has spawned off into other businesses. So you all are going to get a full spectrum of different experiences at different levels. I've been in the business 20 years. Charles has been in the business 15 years. Derek has only been in the business 5 years. That's a huge benefit. 20, 15, that's 30. That's crazy. The amount of experience, the amount of value you guys are gonna get for just 14.97. And this is the thing: if you can't invest 14.97 in your education, why would you try to invest somebody's somebody else's money in buying a property for $50,000, for $60,000? You're setting yourself up for failure. So come spend a full day with us, learn the do's and the don'ts, get educated, and leave out with a plan of action. May 21st, next Saturday, we start at 8:30 a.m., coffee and donuts. Okay. We're gonna go from and then we'll do a little networking in the morning. We're gonna have some light music, and then 9 a.m., boom, classroom time. It's time to start. All right. And then we're gonna take an hour for lunch, give you a little break. We're gonna come back. It's not nap time. We're going out in the field. If it's raining, we're still going out in the field. Bring your umbrellas. So look at the forecast, and we're gonna go visit some properties in the neighborhood. All right. We're gonna talk about the exterior, front and rear of the property where we're having a class. We're gonna go through home inspection reports. That's another nuance that you all need to know about. And I hope they're a national brand. I believe I have access to the the best home inspector in the country. I'm going to share one of their reports, and I'm going to show you things that the naked eye you're not even going to notice. You're not even going to notice. But because I've been working with licensed home inspectors since I've been in the business, you're gonna be able to leave this weekend seeing things that you may not have known to look for before. Case in point, I have a student, Pamela Jackson from Washington, D.C. Well, she's an alumni now. Saturday is supposed to be 90 degrees and sunny, so dress accordingly. We will have the AC on. I tested it for the first time last night. Wow, Jennifer, thank you for sharing that. I had my whole outfit planned for next weekend. Wow, I gotta change the wardrobe now. Maybe not because I'm gonna have the AC on. But check this out. So I got an alum, Pamela Jackson, and she was buying a house with her wife in Baltimore, and the house was beautiful. I mean, it was spectacular. And we get they get down so far in the deal where they packed up their condominium in DC. They were going to Airbnb this beautiful condo that they own, and they were moving to Baltimore, right? Well, anyway, they get down to the home inspection. Some things come back from the home inspection. Pamela, who has gone through the curriculum that a lot of you are going to learn on Saturday at Rehab Mastery, she said, well, we need the UNO. Write that down, UNO. Some of you have never heard of that. Her real estate agent was shocked because most home buyers don't know what a UNO is. But because Pamela has gone through the curriculum and is an experienced real estate investor, See, when she came through my program learning how to wholesale, her main goal was to own rental properties. So one of the benefits, and we are going to tackle wholesaling at Rehab Mastery, because I truly believe that's the foundation of your real estate investing journey. She understood how to evaluate a deal, how to negotiate a deal. She understood how to communicate with real estate agents. So when she explained to the real estate agent, she asked a question, I want to see the UNO. That stands for use and occupancy permit. Her real estate agent requested that from the other agent, the seller's agent, and they weren't able to produce that. They weren't able to produce a UNO, which means that the house had been renovated without permits, most likely. And she did a little more digging, and she discovered that no electrical permits were pulled, no plumbing permits were pulled, no HVAC permits were pulled, no building permit was ever pulled. So where does that leave her? Well, very frustrated, but it leaves her in a better place than she would have been if she wasn't knowledgeable. And she's buying this $400,000 renovated house. And the owner of the house is in Australia. But see, that's the importance of getting the right education, because there are a lot of different nuances like that that can come back and bite you later if you're not in the know. And I wish we had enough time to go through them all of the potential pitfalls that one could run into if they don't have the right education, they don't have the right system. So she shared with me last night, and I love transparency is the only policy. If you know me, that's what I'm on. I'm gonna try to share the text message she sent me last night. Let's see if I can find it here. I can't find it, but she shared with me last night. I got a ton of texts here that there's termite damage in the property. Let me see if I have it. No. There's termite damage at the property. And I'm gonna attempt, because I like transparency, and I'm doing this. I'm gonna do this live. I'm gonna try to get her on Zoom. I mean on the phone.
Hold on for a second, Marcel.
All right.
Okay, can you hear me, Marcel?
Yeah, I can hear you. Pamela, are you there?
Yeah, I'm in Baltimore. Yeah.
Hey, listen real quick, because I'm with some students of mine, and that house has termite damage.
Not the one I showed you last night.
Oh, the one you showed me last night. I thought that this was the house you were thinking about buying.
Nah, I sent that to you for a wholesale deal. I know you want some of the Ashburn, just right next to the house that we still battling for.
Okay, cool. So you sent me a house. That house is not on the market. That has a termite damage, or it's on the market.
It is. I think you can get it for cheaper, bro. For real. It had really bad termite damage.
Okay.
The lady will disclose everything to you if you give her a call. Her name is Tanya. That's why I sent it to you, because I know you've been looking for some Ashburn stuff. It's right on the corner, right next. How
much? I know the house. How much are they asking for that house?
Let me see if I can look it up for you.
Well, look it up and text it to me. I misunderstood the text, but I also.
It was late when I sent it.
Yeah, it was late, but I also was. Yeah, look, I'm teaching a class right now, but Hey, Pamela says, "What's up, everybody?" But I was telling them the story of you being animate.
You're a big time student.
Yeah, you are a big time student. I was telling them about you knowing the permit process. And
Absolutely. Know it very well.
I don't know if they can hear you, but hopefully they can.
Yeah,
They can y'all hear Pamela talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can hear you. They can.
how y'all doing? 260, Marcel.
260. That's how much the house is.
You can get it for cheaper. They have had 3 people back out of the contract.
Oh wow.
I would try if I was you.
I'm gonna see what I can do. But look, I just wanted to show people this was real. You're in Baltimore right now. What are you looking at properties?
I had to get an inspection.
Okay.
For my rental license for a couple of my properties, and I just have my guy Steve here just doing stuff that they wanted me to get done.
Okay. Doing rental inspections today. That's good. So look, I ain't gonna hold you. I'll be in touch, Pamela. Appreciate you.
That's all. You don't need nothing else?
Nah, not right now. But we're gonna talk. I'm gonna bring you on one of these classes one day.
Yeah, so we can talk about that DC deal.
All right, definitely.
All right.
All right, take care.
Bye, Marcel.
Bye-bye. Wow, I love it. I love it. See, that's action. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Let's see if I can get back over here. I'm trying to tell y'all.
When you come, I'm trying to tell y'all, when y'all come through, whether you're one of my students, whether you come to an event, if you're about that action, this is life. Like Pamela, she didn't know I was gonna call her this morning. I caught her in the middle of an inspection she's doing with her rental property. She texted me like 1 a.m. I'm like, and that's one of the benefits when you're a student and you're one of the students that take action. We talk all the time. So it's nothing for a student to hit me 1 a.m. and say, look at this property. Now I was half asleep. I thought she was talking about the house she was thinking about buying for 400. She's telling me about the house next door. And then, again, that's the power of social media. She knows I'm still active in the business. She told me about the house next door that I could possibly make an offer on. So that was just a great call. Y'all heard her talk about when I asked her, I stated that she knew everything about the permit process. She's at her rental properties. I stated that earlier. So for the skeptics and the doubters that think I'm just trying to sell you a ticket to my event, no, I'm giving you facts. Okay, very transparent. She was at the rental properties that I told you all she has purchased since she got through my program. So folks, I'm gonna tell you like this. If you want to change your life, if you want a shot at building wealth and you haven't had a shot yet, get registered. The price is discounted, less than $1,000 off the price. It's more than $1,000 off the price, $1,497 to come to this event for a full day, hands-on. It's not going to be hundreds of people at my seminars. You get a chance to get all your questions answered, to get up close and personal with 3, not 1 expert, 3 experts in the field. Like, we're taking you, like, if you ever wondered what a day in the life was like as a real estate investor, this is your chance. All right. The registration link is in the chat. 4 seats left. We're only taking 10 students. The 6 students that that signed up since we started this promotion, salute to you. We cannot wait to work with you. You're also going to meet some of our other students that we've been working with at this event. And who knows who's going to pop up maybe on the walking tour, maybe one of the developers in the neighborhood. We may have some surprises for you all during the walking tour and the caravan. Okay. Because Charles says something, man, I love that. Charles, you need to trademark that, walking for wealth. Because walking for wealth means so much to me because I know Charles and I know how big he is on health. And I know how he starts his day walking on the treadmill. So without health, you can't build wealth. And see, Charles is about that life. So when he says walking for wealth, I know it isn't just something he just came up with off the top of his head. He put his heart into that. He put his soul into that. statement, into that tagline. So Charles, definitely trademark that, man. I think you're going somewhere with that. Um, but folks, the only way you can start walking for wealth is you learn how to do it. And we're going to be walking for wealth. We're going to be following Charles through this neighborhood, walking for wealth and health. So bring some on lunch. Go get some good bottles of Deer Park water. We should have some in the refrigerator at the property because all the appliances are functioning. And we're going to walk for wealth on Saturday as well. That's something new that Charles just came up with. Are there any questions? Like any questions about the rehab process? Are there any questions about Saturday? What we're going to do next week? Any questions? Just put it in the chat. 90-degree weather. Bring an umbrella. Keep the sun out of your face. Any questions? This has been a great class. We may end early if there aren't any questions. I will be sending out the replay. Charles, Derek, if y'all had anything else to add, please add now if you want.
Can you still hear me, Marcel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just wanted to kind of piggyback on what you said and what Charles said. Just can't wait to see everybody at the event next Saturday. I didn't know it was going to be 90 degrees. It's getting but yeah, it's going to be a ton of great information. And I know this is our first time back in front of people live since COVID.
Yeah.
So this is going to be great.
How do you choose a likely neighborhood to begin that might have good options? It really depends. I subscribe to my local business journal. Reading I had an epiphany the other day. And I said to myself, I'm going to start sharing books on social media that I'm currently reading or have read in the past and share like things that I've learned. One thing people don't do is read, and that's how you miss out on opportunity. So everybody wants to take the easy way out or the path of least resistance. And in our minds, we've been conditioned that reading is hard or reading is boring. But reading really opens up doors. Clear fact, Frederick Douglass. I'm not going to go down that road today, but we all know what reading can do for you. It can free you, point blank, period. So if that's from bondage, not just Frederick Douglass, Nelson Mandela, well-educated man. If you know his story, you knew he had to do a lot of reading while he was in prison for, I believe, over 20 or 30 years to change laws and things like that. He did all that from prison. Okay. Another example of modern day, the power of reading is the gentleman Wallow 267, who was well read in prison and started teaching the things he was reading in prison and now outside of prison, and now consults for Google and YouTube. Came from reading. And he says that. So reading is why I'm here today teaching. So to that person that asked that question, I recommend getting in the business journal and read it every week, and you'll start seeing different headlines and stories about properties that were recently purchased in certain neighborhoods. You need to Google those addresses, and then you need to go drive those neighborhoods or send someone to drive those neighborhoods if it's out of state, and just start doing your due diligence process. So that's how I figure out the good options, is I read. When I was in my early 20s, I read about a neighborhood. I read 400 pages while I was working a 9 to 5. Every lunch break, every 15-minute break, I read 400 pages of the proposed plans for a neighborhood. This was in 2003, 2004. I started reading the plans for different neighborhoods around the city. And that was my plan. And I didn't have a coach or mentor, someone on Zoom didn't exist. YouTube wasn't really around in '04. So I said to myself, I'm going to read the plans and I'm going to choose a neighborhood. And I chose one of the neighborhoods, and my first wholesale deals were 12 properties in that one neighborhood I've read the plans on. Okay. I read before it happened in 2003, 2004, that they were going to build a biopark at University of Maryland Medical Center. I read it before it even took place. So that's another nugget. How do I learn about the options? I didn't know about the business journal then. Okay. But I did know you can download plans off of the local government websites for certain neighborhoods back then. I don't know if that's the case now, because I just used the business journal. But I took all the proposal plans that were submitted to the planning department in Baltimore, and I downloaded them at work, and I started reading them. And the 400-page plan is a community in West Baltimore. And I'll tell you, everything in these plans that I read almost 20 years ago is happening today. That's how I know there ain't gonna be no ghettos in inner cities 20 years from now. Because the plans were already in place 20 years before. But you ain't gonna know it unless you read. So when people complain, and this is gonna happen because people don't read, when people complain, oh, they pushed us out the neighborhood, they're gentrifying. Were you in the know? Because if you're in the know, you can now prepare for the next 20 years. I don't care what financial situation you're in, if you're ahead of the plans 20 years from now, you have enough time to build your credit up. You have enough time to learn a business model. You have enough time to build capital. All three things we're going to cover at Rehab Mastery. So use the 21st as a springboard launching pad to prepare for the next 20 years, because the writing is on the wall. All you have to do is find the information. And once you find the information, you position yourself and your family to benefit from what's coming. Not what's gonna come, what's coming at a neighborhood near you. So folks, we're gonna end here. This has been a great masterclass. I want to thank Derek Anthony. I want to thank Charles Ennington. And I want to thank all of our audience and our students for joining us today. The link will be sent via text after this. That's a great start. Go to the County State Planning Department, look for the proposed plans for the neighborhoods, and choose a neighborhood to walk. This did not come to mind. Thanks much. Absolutely. We're here to deliver value each and every week. Folks, log on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. to the Freedom and Wealth Seekers podcast. I got a whole new lineup of guests coming. A whole new lineup of guests. Woo, woo, woo. Wait until you see what we have in store. Folks, I will see you at the closing table. Better than that, I'm going to see some more folks at the Freedom and Wealth Rehab Mastery class, May 21st, 8:30 a.m. sharp. Coffee and donuts. We're ready to start. I'm ready to teach today. I can't wait for Saturday. Folks, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. See you at the closing table. Take care. Bye-bye.